Wanna hear something sad? Donkey Kong hasn't gotten a new game in literally over a decade. How the hell does that even happen? The last new game obviously was Tropical Freeze for everyone's favorite console, the Nintendo Wii U. The fact that this is something that still is happening, Donkey Kong being literally forgotten, is something that bothers the ever-living crap out of me. I mean, where the hell is my beautiful Donkey Boy? Yeah, obviously DK isn't dead per se, given that both of the modern country games are on Switch right now, but that's more of a waste to fill the library quickly. However, I suspect that the era of neglect for Donkey Kong is actually coming to an end sooner than you think, because all of the evidence throughout the whole gaming landscape points to the somewhat legendary, sequel to DK64 being something that actually might just be a reality for the Switch 2. But why now? Like, why of all the times? Now? What? Well, strap in for what can only be called a Donkey Kong conspiracy theory. Donkey Kong! Oh, how you've been mishandled, my dear hairy gorilla. Ever since '99, and talks and rumors of a DK64 sequel of some kind have been going around. Basically a 3D Donkey Kong of any kind. As with anything though on the early 2000s internet, a lot of the so-called leaks and rumors turned out to be nothing but fakes. And as we all know, talking about leaks and rumors never quite stopped. The most recent talk of DK was when Did You Know Gaming covered the so-called Donkey Kong Freedom game by Vicarious Visions. Now, supposedly Donkey Kong Freedom was some kind of 3D open world-like game. Not much is known aside from concept art being leaked. I trust most of you people who see this already knew about that, but on the off chance that you haven't, then I urge you to go check out their video after this. Even after all of these years, since Tropical Freeze's release, the hope for that 3D Donkey Kong never quite died. In fact, Donkey Kong seems to be making a sly comeback that you might not have noticed. Look a little closer at Nintendo today and you'll notice DK popping up here and there a lot more than someone like Link or even the Pokemon characters. Where though, you might ask? Well, for starters, let's look at the undisputed #1 highest grossing video game movie of all time, the Mario movie. While obviously the movie is about Mario mainly, DK plays the second most important role in the entire movie, and that's not by mere chance. They could have just as easily given Peach or even someone like Wario screen time given their more recent game entries, but they didn't. Not only did they pay homage to DK and Mario's historical rivalry, but they also went out of their way to explore the Jungle Kingdom in greater detail than any other place in the movie aside from the Mushroom Kingdom itself. Now, if you made the quick assumption that, oh, it's nothing more than a nod to the first Mario and Donkey Kong game, then why do you also think that out of all of the hugely grossing Nintendo franchises, why did they pick Donkey Kong for Nintendo Land? Think about it. The movie is one thing, but an entire theme park is a significant investment. Financially speaking, doing a Mario and Zelda park makes a lot more sense. Yet, Donkey Kong it is. And taking a look at Nintendo's socials over the last year reveals a lot of DK content in itself. What I get from all of this is that Nintendo is warming up the world to the characters of DK, Cranky Kong and everyone else, as if to say, remember these guys for later. Now I can't confirm it, but if my heart and general analytical skills are anything to go by, I'd say set your calendars. Donkey Kong will have his return to form at some point during the Switch 2's life. Now, what really should that game be like? I'm one of the few people who really liked getting everything in DK64, and given that info, it's not such a surprise that I would want to see a Donkey Kong game in the style of Mario Odyssey. DK64 had a lot of really good ideas, but in execution fumbled a bit here and there. One of my biggest gripes is not being able to switch characters on the fly, making me waste immense amounts of time going back to the tag barrel. Another one of my bigger gripes is also the fact that there's no real way to track what you've done in a current world. The total screen shows numbers, sure, but still lacks the critical information needed for this kind of game, such as what actual banana you've gotten. And that brings me back to Odyssey, which, if you haven't played, what are you doing? Odyssey is damn close to a perfect game in my mind. It's one of those very rare kinds of games that feels like pure magic, making hours go by faster than I really want to admit. Everything from the map design to the feel of the movement is just incredible. So naturally, in a perfect world, I would like the Odyssey team to work on this DK game. And honestly speaking, the only other competent developer I would trust with such a task, if not Nintendo themselves, would be Playtonic, given their history with DK and 3D platformers in general. And man, I felt a pain in my chest as I said platonic instead of rare. Damn. Obviously though, I could go way more in depth on how I would want this new DK game to sound and look like and even be structured like, but I feel like that might be better left for its own video. So let me know down below if that's something you want to hear me talk about. Otherwise, please consider subscribing and liking to help support me. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you around.